Thanks for taking the time to watch Chris Reed and Carter Gray and myself talk about term life insurance. Chris, why don't you start off with your feelings on term life insurance and where term life insurance fits in?
Term life insurance is the lowest cost, best way to get the correct amount of life insurance in place to protect your family in the unfortunate event that you die early and are unable to continue providing for them financially. A lot of people's future plans, hopes, dreams for their kids, things like that are wrapped up in their ability to earn an income. Unfortunately, and as a police officer, I know sometimes those plans are cut tragically short. So term life insurance is the best way to get that umbrella of protection over their family, so God forbid if they pass on prematurely, again, we step in and bring to the table the finances they would have otherwise earned to take care of their family.
That's good. So I've been in the business since 2000, and I've paid 11 death claims, and 10 of those were from term life insurance. And those families of what they took out to protect for themselves would have drastically not been able to continue to live in the home, continue to their lifestyle, the whole 9 yards. So from being in the business since 2000 and paying those death claims, it's a very real thing that people need to think about. And if term life insurance is in your budget, and that's what's in your budget, or if you need term life insurance for that specific period of time, then term life insurance is absolutely fantastic. A lot of the times what we'll do is look at a blend. If people want, the question we ask is, how long do you want your life insurance to last? A lot of people want some life insurance to be there for estate liquidity needs when they do pass away. So a lot of the times we'll look at a concept that we call a blend, where we'll incorporate term life insurance with a permanent policy for the correct amount of total life insurance and have that permanent life insurance policy be there for that liquidity. Give me an example, Chris, of times where you've done the blend.
A lot of people just, well, when I describe term life insurance to them, I tell them it runs to about age 80, and it gets really expensive to take out near the end, and they'll say, well, what if I need life insurance after I turn 80? You know, would you rather rent your life insurance for a set period of time, or do you want to own a piece? Locking in someone's health and insurability is usually when that's cuffed up. I've had people with diabetes. Some of the living benefits, the accelerated benefits that come on permanent life insurance are a huge attraction to them, especially given the current alternatives to take care of people's chronic illnesses. Traditional long-term care, which I'm licensed to do, just the market's changed so much that that's a really attractive piece to people, is to build in a bucket of money that's going to be there for someone. Either a lot of people want to pass on money, maybe not to their kids, but to their grandkids, I found is a big one, or they want to be able to access chronic illness benefit to help supplement some of their needs as they get into their 80s and 90s. So those are usually the most times that I'll write that.
So what's nice about the product portfolio of Pacific Insurance Group is that we have term life insurance that have those living benefits for terminal illness, chronic illness, and critical illness. So terminal illness typically means if you're expected to die within 2 years or less, they'll cut a big chunk of that death benefit, take a little bit for themselves at a discounted rate, but the majority of the death benefit gets passed along to the policy owner. Chronic illness is the same triggers as a typical traditional long-term care insurance policy, which is if you can't perform 2 out of the 6 activities of daily living. Critical illness is typically means that if you've had a cancer, a heart attack, stroke, those kind of things, there's about 12 different things, where they will pay out that death benefit before you die. So typical life insurance, as some people say, is just death insurance. The stuff that we bring to the table has living benefits to where they can accelerate, even on the term and the permanent life insurance policies, those accelerated living benefits. So it's not just if you die to take out the policy. And what would you say about that?
I just can't overstate especially the terminal and the chronic illness benefits. I'm huge fans of. I have a lady who runs a truck repair shop in Seattle, and her husband got terminal brain cancer. And there was a surgery that they offered, but unfortunately it was considered exploratory or experimental by the insurance company, by the health insurance company. So they had a life insurance policy for him, but it had no terminal illness accelerated benefit rider on it, so they had to destroy their 401k, stroke a check for $100,000 out of their small business 401k to pay for this surgery. Had they met me back when they took out that initial policy and they had the best life insurance, now rather than having to take care of the 401k and destroy it, to pay for that, they could have pulled that money from the life insurance policy, paid for it, paid for his end of life, and done some other stuff. So we're not selling the cure for cancer, right? But I mean, if you have the ability to go and pay for the best care, or take the time off work to spend with your family, to me, it's huge.
Yeah. The other thing when it comes to term life insurance is from an underwriting perspective. So there are companies, if you chew tobacco, if you smoke e-cigarettes, if you smoke marijuana, if you've had a DUI and it's been longer than a year, will give you up to a standard non-tobacco rating. So knowing and being with somebody who understands the landscape and the products is very important when it comes to making the decision. So term life insurance isn't the same. You don't just go on, which you can, to our website, get a quote, and look at it. You're going to see a whole bunch of companies that one of the top might not be the best deal for 50 cents a month. And it might not take into account those other things. If you're a pilot as well, there's companies that are more favorable where you'll get a better rate, meaning you'll pay less per month. So, whereas conversely with captive career agents, companies where people work for that company, you might have had a high school or college friend that goes to work for a big name insurance company that's here for life. And
that may originate from the East Coast, the Northeast particularly.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell us about those situations.
Life insurance is, I review probably 300 cases a year, especially the more complex types of life insurance, especially some older types of life insurance. It's so misunderstood. I'm pretty sure that if I jumped into the cockpit of a 737, I could just grab the reins and pilot it to a safe landing. Turns out I would suspect it's probably more complicated than that. Same with life insurance. I can't tell you how many times I hear that, well, I have the best deal, or I got a good guy, or he really knows what he's doing. And the differences are substantial. I mean, I just came across a guy who was going to drop $650,000 over the life of his policy into this other policy. And if I had not met him, if he hadn't agreed to sit down with me, he would have flushed out the window probably $450,000 to $500,000 worth of that money. So, that's not every case, but structured correctly, especially had I been his agent for a long time, it would have produced, a compounded growth on that money. I don't want to get too deep into it, but rather than being a big black hole, it would have pumped a bunch of money out for him. Now I came in and cleaned it up, but it's not small potatoes. I mean, even if you save $20 a month on your life insurance, and I don't care if it's bundled with your home and auto, right, or you got it from SelectQuote, because you don't know what that guy's doing. Even if $20 a month over, a 20-year contract is $5,000. So, I mean, that money's better off in your family's pocket than in some insurance company's pocket.
Right. Yeah, that's good. The last thing we want to touch on is the conversion privileges. So we get it. You want term life insurance, you're never going to convert it. You do not want permanent life insurance. Until you're at the end of your term and you've had cancer, heart attack, stroke, it's about to run out and go to the guaranteed renewable rates, of which if you look at the structure of term life insurance and the policies that you can get to have those conversion privileges inside of that term life insurance policy is a big deal. It's worth the extra 20 cents to pay a little more per month to have a policy that has those conversion privileges. If that happens, your health changes, you need that conversion privilege to make sure that life insurance is there for the rest of however long you want it, that you're in control. So contact us, speak to somebody from our office. that's an expert in life insurance, that understands this, that can get you the correct amount of life insurance, and that can help you overall with your life insurance, how to customize a financial plan, and go from there.